Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Just that AJ gets beat again, though, by Dubois, because I think he probably will.
No, you won't.
You think he'll beat Dubois in the rematch?
I think what we saw on the night, because remember, everything plays into play. Daniel got there first. Daniel was there early, at Wembley, AJ drove from Essex, went to the hotel, had a long nap, After the nap, he went to the stadium at 8 o'clock, knowing that he's walking in the ring and, 10 o'clock?
Yeah.
So from then, when things happen like that, and your management team is not telling you, no, we can't do this, we need to do this and do this, so it's not united. And then when he walked in, he stood in one corner, he didn't come out. And then by the time he realized that he needs in the fight, he was on the floor, so he froze. But when he got it right for when Ben Davis told him, listen, chuck in your right hand when he chucks a double jab. You got him. Daniel went back. When AJ went for the kill, he got caught.
So you think it'll be a different outcome in the rematch?
I think the rematch will be amazing, and you never know.
What do you think, Ade?
What do I think? I try and remove my emotions from this one, as you know. I think Dubois wins again. I think I don't know. Like AJ done well in that fight for about a minute. Dubois was on top for a lot of that fight. But he knows both.
Daniel's found himself, mate. Daniel. If you have to understand about a fighter, you have to understand exactly why he said in the first press conference those words. I was like, wow. He goes, I want to dethrone the king because AJ's been the lion. I want to be the new king. And I was like, oh, those are big words.
Those are the words of Derek Chisora as he was on Talk Sports Boxing. Shout out to Ade and company, okay? And Derek Chisora gives another reason why Anthony Joshua lost. And, how he explained it, everything comes into play when you're dealing with fighting or you're dealing with performance level, okay? Or lack of, right? He had a drive, he slept, he got there 2 hours before. Basically, they went out at 10 o'clock. So what Derek Chisora was saying is that AJ was too calm when he went in the ring. And then he didn't really have time to adjust to the hype level, the intensity of the night against Danny Dubois. But Danny Dubois was already there early. That's why Danny Dubois won. And let me counterpunch. That's half true. Half true. Okay, because for one thing, let's look at this with the yin and the yang. Okay. Let's look at it like this. You could say AJ wasn't really prepared. I just don't think AJ was prepared for that type of Danny Dubois. We could say that shit. Oh, yeah, we could say that because we know that Danny Dubois was coming with something that Anthony Joshua didn't anticipate. Okay, that's one thing I don't think people could argue with, because it wasn't nothing that happened in there that was controversial. It wasn't, a foul. Yeah, Danny Dubois did use his head some. That's him. He's the, the present day Holyfield in retrospect. So, everybody calls him Mike Tyson, but you should be talking about Holyfield with that head. You know what I mean? Even though he comes out with the Mike Tyson-esque like attire on, just with a black shirt. Yeah, that does look menacing. Somebody comes out like that without a robe, he ain't thinking about silk, nothing. He's thinking about brute strength and kicking your ass. Okay, so so that's that on that. But I think also though, with Danny Dubois and doing what he did to AJ, I do think that he was not prepared. But I do say this. You could also say the yang. Well, at what point does Anthony Joshua not been experienced enough to take on someone like Danny Dubois? You can't say that. See, if anything, it's his fault. See, if what Derek Chisora said was true, he didn't have his management team there to really, coordinate what where and when he should be there and how, he should. Well, that's all because AJ didn't take it serious enough to even have his management team to ride him like that, to make sure to guide him to the right steps for that day. Nobody can do that but yourself. That takes experience and discernment, along with wisdom coming from experience. So if he just threw that to the wayside and said, you know what, I'm going to come there a couple of hours early and go in there dry and get my face knocked off by this young cat, that's my own problem, ain't it? That's really all that means. It's all this really is telling us that, hey, AJ wasn't ready. He might not have been ready for an ass whooping, but then who is? Who's ready for an ass whooping like that? You know what I mean? So, even a day, he was like, I have to remove my feelings because, he's a pro Joshua guy. So, but, seeing what we saw, things in that fight, even though what Joshua, like you said, before he figured out what was going on, he was down on the ground. Yeah, he was down quick because Danny Dubois beat him up quick. However, I will say this. Even if that was the case, Anthony Joshua lacked what? Adjustments. Because if he knew that Danny Dubois was coming like that, he should have mentally turned it on like, oh, this is what this is about. This kid's coming to knock me out. So I'm going to have to adjust some things. He didn't do that. So you can't blame any of that shit. You can't blame it. And then see, even if it was true, even if he was sluggish, even if he was in the corner, even though he was stiff, even though he was dry, or whatever the case is, it's still his fault. It's like this, people. It's like saying that, you know what, Alexander Usyk didn't train like he's supposed to, but everybody knows that that's what he's known for. Okay. Whose fault is that? That's Alexander Usyk's. Tyson Fury didn't spar because of the cut. Well, yeah, they didn't want to spar because of a danger of reopening the cut. But at what point does that matter at that point? Whose fault is that? That's Tyson Fury's fault. You know what I mean? It still matters, but whose fault is it? Theirs. So when people are talking about, hey, man, AJ, he lost because of this, because of that. No, he was in there with a guy that he should have prepped more for and should have been everything else more for. That is the counterpunch on this. You guys tell me what you think of Derek Chisora's new and improved reasons why Anthony Joshua got defeated in this fight. I'll leave that for another video. But you guys tell me what you think. Please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch.